What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Hangin with Matty D. It is Thursday, May 31st. I have a lady in the room with me tonight. She runs a blog, and she does some marketing. She's getting some traction here in San Diego. She runs the SD Lifestyle blog here in San Diego, but Miss Amanda Henry is in the house with us tonight. Amanda, thank you for coming tonight. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing so good. Thank you for having me.
You
I'm
excited?
so excited. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So we knew each other through mutual friends, I guess you could say, right? And yeah, we gotta have on our show. She actually mentioned me in her interesting Instagrams or something like that. Number 30.
Yeah, the top 300 favorite people and places in San Diego that people should watch.
Technically, that was number 300, so I'm pretty proud of that.
No.
But hoping to crack the top 100 next year. But yeah. So tell me about yourself. So you're from Michigan.
I am from Michigan in the freezing cold. I came here about 4 years ago, and that's when I started the blog. I was just taking pictures of everything. And before I came to San Diego, I thought it was boring. I was like, what is there to do here?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I looked up online, and there was like 2 things to do. And I was like...
2 things to do in San Diego?
Yeah, it was like go to the zoo, go to Point Loma.
Nah, there's no
and that was it. I couldn't find anything. I was like, okay, I'll go to LA now.
Did you move down here? Did you move down?
Yeah, I moved straight here to San Diego, but I came here to visit one time, and I just went all up the coast. So I went all over California, and I stayed in San Diego, I think, for 2 or 3 nights, and I was just like... I did those 2 things, and then I left. I don't know.
You didn't like it?
So, well, when I moved here, so I got engaged, and then when I moved here with my fiance at the time, he's like, no, you got to go to Del Mar, you got to go to Coronado, you got to do all these. Yeah, so I was like, okay. And then we started doing all these things, and I would take these pictures everywhere I would go, and I just have kind of a blogging background, I guess you would say, and ever since college I took an HTML class, and I loved websites and design and trying to put things together and make it work and get a message out there. So I basically just started doing that for San Diego, and I kind of put together this blog, and now it's been 3 years and 300 stories later. I was like, I'm gonna do my 300th story. I'm like, I'll just make a quick list of my top 300 people, and then I spent 5 straight days making that list.
I bet. I feel like it's definitely a hard
it was tough
thing to do, like running your own blog, I guess you can say. So what was the factor that actually made you go, I want to do this?
I guess I wanted to create a website in general, and I just didn't know what to do it on. And at first it was actually centered around yoga and like yoga clothing, and it was a different name and everything, and I would just take pictures of my friends who did yoga, and we would do like cool yoga pictures. And then I really started researching a business aspect of a blog, and I was like, this is so saturated, this market. There's so many people doing doing yoga clothing lines and trying to make that a thing, especially here in San Diego. I was just like, I don't want to go that route. So then it kind of changed after like 6 months, and we got the domain, the sdlifestyle.com, and that came up, and that's what our social media was. And we kind of had trouble getting all these other websites, but we started as SanDiegoLifestyleBlog.com. That's what the official website is. But now we have the sdlifestyle.com. And once we got that, I was just like, okay, let's make it all just fun things to do in San Diego.
It's a great domain name.
Yeah, I love it. It's so awesome.
It's surprising that was still available.
I know. It was awesome, especially on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook.
So you're all SD. Yeah, you're
SD Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.com/the SD Lifestyle. It's so awesome. I love it.
That's pretty interesting. So let's track back. So you fell in love with internet and marketing from a class, is what you said, correct?
Yeah, back in college. Yeah.
So this is what, 2000?
2011 I graduated, so it was like 2008, 9, 10, and 11 I went to college. Okay. So one of those years I took an HTML class, and it was like build a homepage, build like a second page, and link the second page back to the first page. Like that was the whole class. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like,
once you figure how easy it is, too,
yeah,
it's like,
it was crazy. So that was super fun, and then I just kind of went from there. Like I launched a bunch of other random websites. I had one called Green Garden Lifestyle, and I don't even know how many now. There's so many. I went through.
Is this the only one that took off?
I think I was just making the other ones just like for fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then I actually made this Triple Peak Media website way back like 7 years ago as just a way to, I took some pictures of my son for school
Mm-hmm.
and I would just put those pictures up. I did like I photoshopped his face on different backgrounds, like a rainbow background and like a stars or whatever for like kindergarten pictures. And I was like, this is really cool. So I put it on this website. Like, I can do this photography, like editing. I don't even know. But back in 2011, I just had 3 little pages, like family photos. And I don't know. I probably took some pictures.
And that's Triple Peak Media?
Yeah, that was the beginning of Triple Peak Media 7 years ago. And then I kind of forgot about it. Didn't really, I worked for a lot of other different companies doing different things, but I didn't really see it as a business. I kind of just helped people.
Okay.
And I wanted to help people get online, and I get so excited talking about like their strategy and their business and what else they can do and how they can collaborate. So I just would go and meet people, and
Like who? Who'd you go meet?
I like basically everyone that's on my blog. I like to do video blogs, so I'll go and I'll do interviews with restaurant owners or chefs or just business people or real estate people or just anyone that I can find that will talk to me on video that's cool and has a cool company or a cool message that they want to say. A lot of nonprofit stuff, and I've just like discovered so much more about San Diego through it. It's really been completely eye-opening.
So is your main purpose, would you say, is to just bring the notice to a lot of things that people don't know in San Diego, to bring that out?
Yeah, and I want it to be a guide for people when they're first moving here. And I want it to be kind of like right on the homepage, it's separated out by communities so that you get a feel for the different communities, because I feel like there's so many little micro communities in San Diego. So it's so hard. And even I don't know, like I have downtown San Diego all as one one thing, because I don't even know. There's like literally like 30 different places downtown, and I can't keep track. I don't know. It's so crazy. The more you get into it, the more little communities and the more little areas, and it just gets overwhelming. So I basically have it broken out to where if you come to visit or to live, you're basically probably going to look at these top 10 communities, and you're going to kind of figure out their vibes and their places you can go. But I'm in North County, so I do a lot of video and interviews up there, but I go all over too. I went down to the Rooftop Cinema Club.
Oh, you've been to that?
Yeah,
Was it nice?
I went to the first night before it opened. They had like a media night,
Nice.
and oh my gosh, it's like my favorite thing ever. I love it so much.
It was good?
Yeah, it was so fun.
We've been wanting to go check that out. I've been picky with the movies. But.
Yeah, they have so many good movies. I literally could go every night. I tell my husband all the time that I want to go again. We've been twice now. I went to that first media night, and I loved it. And then we went back and saw, I can't even remember what we saw. The first one was Top Gun. Raiders of the Lost Ark was the second one. That was a really good one.
They do a lot of 80s movies.
Yeah.
They do a lot of
I
80s
love
movies.
them. I could watch
movies.
every single one.
They're my favorite ones.
Yeah, they're amazing.
They're shooting Top Gun right now.
I
think.
know.
I saw that today,
I shot
right?
Top Gun 2.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
I can't wait for
Hopefully
that.
we see a little bit more and they get a little bit more of the community involved with
Yeah.
Because I know there's a lot of spots, like there's the house up in Oceanside. There's, what is it, the barbecue place that they like played the piano at's downtown, right across from like the Embarcadero, Kansas City Barbecues down there.
I don't think I even knew that.
Yeah. You can go. That's like the Top Gun bar. It's pretty cool.
So
Yeah, it's pretty cool. They have good barbecue too, so you should check it out.
All right.
So, what? Let me see how I want to word this question. So, well, let's go into what you talked about before, marijuana,
Okay.
because I feel like it's a very good subject with you. You like to talk about it.
I am an advocate, definitely.
What brought you onto it?
Back when I was 17, I had a lot of anxiety, a lot of crazy thoughts like any 17-year-old does, and I was just going through life, and I was at the point where I needed something. My number one fear is death, and I just was so terrified of it that I got so in my head and worried, and I'd have like literally panic attacks at night, just thinking like, what if I really don't wake up tomorrow? And like, I don't know, all this crazy stuff. So I was like, I'm at a point where I need some sort of help. So I went to my regular doctor, and I had looked into medical marijuana for a while, but in Michigan it was only medical marijuana, and you had to go through this whole big process. And I went to my doctor and I told him about it, and I said, I really want to try this. And he said, well, try this basically Xanax or some random antidepressant first, and then if that doesn't work after a few months, then we'll try the marijuana. And I'm like reading all these side effects, and I'm just like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to take this pill that he's like, oh, you could want to kill yourself for 3 weeks, but just keep taking it. Like, I don't know. I just can't. And my family grew up with a lot of people like just taking a pill for this or taking a pill for that. And I've seen how it's affected other people in my family. And I was just like, I'm not going to do this. So a few other people I knew were driving downstate, 3 hours downstate, to this one doctor that would approve everybody no matter what, kind of thing. Yeah. Not 100%, but like 99.9%. So we went down, we drove in this van down with 5 other people. We stood in line outside this little tiny doctor's office in the middle of nowhere. There was literally probably 150 people. I think his cutoff was like 120 a day or something. Like those are the most patients you can see in one day legally. And he was just a doctor that was old enough where he's like, I'm willing to put my license on the line and like help people. Like Tylenol kills 4,000 people a year. So if you even have a headache and you're about to take a Tylenol, like this doctor's like, try to smoke a joint instead, like just, it's a natural medicine. It's never killed anyone. Like, try it first. And then if you want to take Tylenol or do whatever you want, do whatever you want. But so he's very, like, pro if you have anything. Even if you take a Tylenol once a year, like, here you go. Here's your prescription, whatever. Okay. So when I got that, I started growing my own medicine because nobody else grew in town.
Were you old enough at the time?
I was just turned 18. Okay. But I think you could have your card even if you weren't 18. Maybe you had to be 18. Maybe I had just turned 18. Okay. I was just barely legal and able to do everything. I was completely like legal. Then I went to like a big committee meeting for our town, and if you look up my maiden name, I have like you have to say your name and your address, and you have to make your statement to the committee to try to get them. At the time, you could they legalized it for medical purposes, so you could have it, you could give it to one another, but you couldn't sell it to people that didn't have their card, but you could sell it to people that also had their medical marijuana card. So basically it would be like people that grew it would sell it to the people that had their card but didn't. Yeah. So, and you could have 5 plants per person, 5 or 6 plants, and you could have 6 plants per person, and you could be growing for other people. So you could be growing for up to 4 other people. So you could have like 60.
So you can have a ton of plants.
Yeah, I think 6 or 12 plants. I can't remember. But yeah, so you could have like a pretty big room if you got enough people to actually write on their little slip that you were their doctor and you were their grower or you're their person. So it was kind of like really hardcore. And then they came in. So they had these little pop-up collectives where they would sell and you would buy, and they would meet like once a month. And it started with 2 little growers on one side of this big curtain, and then on the other side they would give you numbers, and if you were lucky enough, because they could only bring in 10 ounces a night, and if you were lucky enough to get one of these 10 ounces from these 2 growers, then you'd get enough, and you get enough.
In bulk, I guess, right?
Yeah, enough. I mean, there was a lot of people that were in there were veterans that had come back from war, and they had been on all this medication.
Oh, trust me,
and they had. Yeah, like they had wanted to kill themselves numerous times, and I sat and talked with them, and it like broke my heart. And they were like, I smoked a joint, and it was like amazing, like completely
I think it's
different.
It's life-changing, and I know there's documentaries on it and stuff like that, but I mean, I'm a prime example. Like, I had a lot of problems sleeping when I came back and stuff like that, and then they give you all these pills, and they pump you with all these pills, and I'm like you, I don't like to take them unless I have to take them for something. Like, I know it's a specific reason. And I would smoke before I go to bed, and I'd wake up and I'd have like phenomenal night's sleep. But which I agree with, and I think it's good. I mean, I don't have it to the point where I'm taking like medications from the VA to numb myself, I guess you can say. I'm taking it for sleep. I know some guys take it for other reasons, but
sure.
I read that it's good for sleep, and there was a guy that was on another podcast I was listening to who owns the sleep center up in LA, and he was saying that it helps you fall asleep faster, but it doesn't let you hit REM. as fast, which means
interesting.
that you're
Kinda half
you're
sleeping.
not necessarily going into such a deep sleep.
Yeah.
So that was
interesting.
I thought that was pretty interesting. But
Well, I mean, I'm not saying like everyone should be smoking marijuana all day long, but I do think that if people are going to try anything, if you're fine and you don't smoke and you don't drink or whatever, like if it's not your thing and you don't feel like you need to smoke, then like great. Like if nobody ever smokes, then awesome. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not like totally pro like putting it in people's faces, but at the same time, if you're going to take a Tylenol, if you're going to be on anti-anxiety medication, if you're going to be on antidepressants, if you're going to be in pain of like any sort, I think it's definitely something that someone should try over something that has so many more harmful effects on you. I
100%,
don't know.
yeah.
I just can't.
So let me ask you a question. Since you are a mom, how does that go hand in hand?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough line to consistently be legal. I lived in Indiana for 6 months, and that was super hard because they have no marijuana laws whatsoever. So I couldn't smoke at all. I was in an apartment. I couldn't do anything that I was normally growing a huge closet of my own plants before in Michigan. So it was really like tough to always stay completely legal and safe, but I knew that I had to do that for my son, so I've always been that way. And as soon as I came to California, even I went to a doctor and I was like, I need my card, I need to figure this out, and they were like, why? Like everyone I talked to was like, why do you need to go get your card? Like, what do you mean? Even the police, if they pull you over, they're just gonna let you go.
Yeah,
like
they
it's
don't.
fine. And I was like, no, I have to get my card. Like I have to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
And even when it came legal now for completely
Recreational
legal or
and stuff,
whatever,
yeah.
you can't, as a patient, go get the same medication you can as before, even though it's the same stuff and the same stores and the same everything. Now everything's basically different. And so I've thought about going and getting an actual state registration card. They have right now, they have recommendations, which is what I have. It's like very basic, but they have like an actual state registration program where you actually get an ID and all of this, and then you can get other kind of like discounts and other things because you're more of a certified patient type of a thing.
Yeah, which doesn't make any sense.
As much as I understand it for now, but everything's changing and every dispensary is totally different, so everybody has different rules. But as of when everybody else could legally go out and buy it, my medicine that I've been taking for the last 7 years is now like 15% more expensive just in one day.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I was kind of upset. I mean, most marijuana advocates even are fine with it, and they're like, over time it'll even out and it should probably be more expensive anyways. And I'm like, I just hate that.
Yeah, because the tax went up a ton on it, if I'm not mistaken. I believe,
and for non-patients, I mean, it's like 35% or something crazy. The max it can be, which is good, and it's good for our state. And overall, it's fine. Like, whatever. But it's like all these patients, all these cancer patients, all these like PTSD, like everyone that's dealing with it now has to pay more just because it's
I didn't
legal.
think about it.
I don't know.
That. We talked about it on one of
angry.
the people guys I had, a couple of guys I had on before, but I didn't think about it in that way. How it's like the people who are so used to paying a price, and now they have to pay the tax just because the state legalized it, and now everybody can do it rather than just the people with the recommendations or the people who have their cards and stuff like that. That's interesting to think about.
Some dispensaries have specific, also like medical grade marijuana
And
for
you can
if
only
you
get
have
that if you have a card, right?
I haven't been to a dispensary like that. I just go to regular, normal ones that just kind of do everything
it's
for
like a
everyone.
convenience store here now, you know? You just go and you get what you need. You get
I wish it was, but in Carmel Valley, there's nothing close, so I have to drive.
Oh, here there's like a bunch of them.
I know. I have to drive pretty far away to actually find anything. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
but
it's just crazy though. Coming from, I mean, I grew up in New Jersey, so it's like, where like you have to find someone to buy weed off of, and it's like you don't know who you're getting it from, you don't know what you're getting. Now you can walk to a store and you know exactly what you're getting, exactly.
It's crazy.
What type of high you're gonna get from it, technically, what it is, what it's made out of, where it's grown, who grows it, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like,
I haven't even been, I mean, back in the day when I first was a patient, it was just like mids and chronic. Like there was just medium grade and like, this is good stuff. We don't know the name of it, but it's good, you know? And it's more expensive. And that was the two options. And now there's like dabs and edibles and all this crazy stuff. I don't know.
How do you like to smoke though? Do you smoke do you do the vape?
I like the little wax pen. Like now, especially with kids, it's really easy to just like go outside at night before bed or whatever.
So do you smoke in front of your son?
No, I never smoke like right in front of him. I mean, I always go outside. I don't smoke in the house, so I just usually like go outside at night or whenever I'm gonna be home for the rest of the day or whatever. And yeah, the wax pen is the easiest thing for me to just take a few little hits and then I'm good to go for 4 or 5 hours, and I feel so much better. If I had any pain at all, it's like I can finally relax, or I can finally like eat food, or I can finally just like calm my mind down, because I feel like naturally I'm so like going in 20 different directions, and I just get like every morning I get so stressed out trying to make breakfast and get lunch, and I'm just like going a million miles an hour. So it really helps me just like calm down and think straight and get everything in order, and it's like now I can go to work and be productive. So yeah, I mean, as a parent, I don't know, I guess a lot of people would probably judge me, but the same people are driving around on Xanax and doing whatever else, and it's like, I don't know.
I wouldn't say necessarily judge you, but I wouldn't say they judge you at all, because like you said, there's people on Xanax, there's people on everything else, which I believe personally is far worse for you than something that grows in the ground that you can smoke. Yeah, you can get stuff that's laced and they put stuff in. Yeah, you're going to have that stuff, but if you're just smoking regular marijuana rather than taking all these prescription drugs that just zone you out, make you feel like you're not there, I think it's more lethal than smoking. But that's just my opinion, though.
For sure.
So, are you into TV? I wanted to hear if you were into TV or not, because I was going to ask you about the Roseanne thing.
No, I don't really. What do you mean, the Roseanne thing?
Gosh. Okay. No, I was just seeing if you for the I don't know if you ever watched the show Roseanne growing up or whatever.
No.
So she had like a racist comment to some lady, and she said something that was like totally racist, and they just canceled her show like on the spot. So I didn't know if you were a fan of it for that or anything.
Yeah, I've definitely had people completely be personal and just say, my family has a problem with marijuana and I can't work with you, or I can't, whatever.
Really?
Yeah, completely.
People turn you down?
Just in my face, and it kind of shocks me, but that's the world we live in. And even that day that it happened, I posted a poll on my Instagram, and I'm like, would you be able to do business with someone that is an advocate of marijuana? And it was funny because like 11 people voted, and I think everybody but 2 people voted yes, but still 2 people are like, no, I'm not even going to do business with you.
I feel like if you live in California, though, you have, you don't have to, but it's technically, it's legal.
I know, it's legal for anyone over 21. You can just walk in the store and try it and smoke it, and it's
I
like.
I wonder if like when you get a drug test now at work, is that still
they can still, basically if you have a job that's worried about marijuana at all, you can still get fired, you can still not get hired, you can still like a lot of things. It really sucks for the people that want to be patients and want to use this as a national.
People still use it regularly, though, I think.
I feel like there's so many jobs that are okay with it, that if you're honest and you're like, this is my medicine that I use for whatever, like so many jobs are becoming fine now, and hopefully it'll eventually be rescheduled and it will all be federally legal and everything. I mean, I've been waiting for this for like 6 years now. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen the next election or whatever. But when it finally was legalized here in California, I was so happy for everyone. So
like you said in your email that you sent me, so why don't you like to fly?
I just hate. Well, I hate death, and I hate giving up the control and just getting on the plane and knowing that you could die at any moment and there's just nothing that you can do.
So you don't fly anywhere?
Ooh, I try not to. I did go to Europe last year for my honeymoon. I did surprise my husband a few months ago. His parents passed away, and he went to St. Louis for a long time, and I was like just missing him so much. So I surprised him and flew there all alone. That was so crazy, but for the most part, other than those trips,
You don't like to fly?
Yeah, we go to Vegas a few times. We go to LA. We go other places, but I just drive everywhere.
Really?
I don't know. I just get so motion sickness. I think it started with like anxiety, but then it's like motion sickness, and when I get in the air, I can't calm down. I don't know what it is.
Do you think it's, like you said, the lack of control? Because I feel like
more
car accidents happen than
I know.
they say
People tell me that all the time, but I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's just stepping into that little part when you're in the thing walking down, and then you have to step actually onto the plane.
And you're like, fuck, I'm here forever.
Yeah, it's like, okay, should I stop right now and run back and be like, I saved myself. Or
Is it-
should I? You know, Seth MacFarlane was supposed to be on the 9/11 flight.
Oh, really?
And he, like, woke up late or something, missed his flight, and that's the flight that went down. Like,
Wow.
imagine what the world would be like, you know, if he was on that flight or woke up on time. Like, I don't know. And those are the things where it's like,
Yeah.
what if that's you on
Yeah.
the next flight? I
No,
don't know.
I know what you're saying.
That's everything, though.
I find it so weird that, well, not weird, but that it's such a common fear, but yet they say how safe it is.
I know.
You know
So
what I
I try
mean?
to just relax when I fly now and just get over it, kind of. But I don't know. I wear a patch from the doctor that's like a really strong Dramamine,
Mm-hmm.
so that's really helpful.
When you fly?
Yeah.
Okay.
Normally, I would take Dramamine. I would try different things, and like nothing would work at all. And so I finally got this patch. It's called scopolamine. If anybody's ever like
Try it
motion
out.
sickness on boats or cruises, it's just like a little tiny sticker, and you stick it behind your
Oh,
ear.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and it's like 4 hours later,
Yeah.
and you literally cannot get sick. It's like the best miracle thing that could have ever happened to me, because I would sit there on the flight and be so sick for the entire like 3 hours, just
Yeah.
so like, and for 2 days after I would land, and it would just be, I would still be so dizzy and so like,
Yeah, that's
I
not
don't
good. You
know.
don't want
It was
that.
terrible. It was like, this is not worth going anywhere. I just like never want to fly again.
Do you get car sickness?
A little bit, but not too much.
All right,
I'm
all right.
usually pretty good in the car.
So you tried out for The Voice?
Yeah, I did last year.
Where at? Where was it? LA?
In Las Vegas.
What made
Yeah,
you do
I
that?
drove out. I've always loved to sing. Oh no.
All right, someone's calling me.
All right.
Don't know why.
Break time.
So yeah, you tried out for The Voice.
Yeah, so I've always sang like ever since I was little, and I've always been in choirs and tried to get the best solo in the year, and I got a scholarship in 8th grade for voice lessons over the summer. And so I've always been really into it, but then after high school, there's really not a good like opportunity to sing. Like I would sing the national anthem here and there for basketball games or whatever, but other than that, it was kind of just like, you can sing in church. I don't know. There's nowhere to sing as an adult, I feel like.
Yeah.
So I just,
Yes, you're right.
I
There's
don't
not
know.
really anywhere to sing.
So I was talking to these people, and they were like, "Oh, you should try out for The Voice." And I was like, "Okay, well, if you find the audition, and I'll do it." And they actually emailed me like that night, and they were like, "Hey, here's the audition link."
Oh,
and I
my
clicked
God.
it. I was just like, "Oh, whatever. Like, what is this?" And it was like, choose your like location, and I was like, "Okay, Vegas, blah blah." And it was like, "Okay, here's your audition, 7 a.m. Blah
How
blah
long
blah."
were you
Like,
there for?
I was like, "Oh my gosh, just the day." I drove up the night before because I had to be there at 7 a.m. and I had to be like in line waiting, and everybody said go like an hour before that. So I actually got there at like 6. So I had to get up at like 5 in the morning, and I'm like, you have to look like you're ready to go on stage, and like it's like, it's
So
gonna be
did you go
7
in
hours
front
later.
of the judges?
No, it's
Okay.
all like a
Tell me about it,
behind the
tell me about it. I wanna hear it,
scenes,
I
and
wanna hear
oh my gosh, it's basically just the longest waiting period of your life, and you get so like everyone gets so nervous by the time you're actually there because you've been waiting. Every single process, it's like, oh, you're waiting. Okay, you're gonna go, and then you go around, and then it's like another line, and it's like, oh, you're gonna wait for this. Like we got waited to get a wristband at the beginning. And then we waited to get a registration something or other. And then we waited in these chairs. And then we waited in a line to get our wristband taken off. And then we waited in the hallway, and they grouped us into 20. And then we waited in 10s, like right outside the door. And then we finally got to go in. And it was basically just like 5 chairs in each row. And you just sat there, and they called a random name. And you never knew when you were going to be up, and people had, starting notes, and they were trying to, and you were just like, everyone was so nervous. These people were amazing. Like
So did you sing
it was
at
your
all?
life. Yeah,
So
definitely.
when do you sing?
You just go up, and they give you can do a verse and a chorus. So you basically just start with like the best verse you can, and then you just say your name, what you're going to sing, and they're like, okay, begin. And then you just sing it, and then they're like, okay, thank you. And you sit back down. And then all the 10 people did that in my group. Most people were so nervous, so they didn't, their voices were shaky, and there was 2 people that were really amazing. I was like,
So what are they? Is there like a separate panel that picks you from those 10?
Kind of. They were just like, I'm sorry, nobody made it through. Like, I'm glad you guys all had a good day here. Thanks for waiting. Bye. And we all just had to leave. And then someone was like crying and someone was like yelling. And it was so funny. Like to me, it was just somebody was like, yeah, go do this. And I've always wanted to sing. So it wasn't like I was like, oh, this is my dream.
Was there a ton of people there?
Oh my gosh, so many. Hundreds and
Vegas?
hundreds.
Like a hotel?
Some convention center area, I guess. I don't even remember. It wasn't at a hotel. It was like at a huge convention like building.
So you get this. Who does the voice?
What
people do the voice?
Oh my gosh, everyone. It was so crazy. There was this one guy there that had been...
where they smacked the thing?
Yeah, I think so. And their chairs turn around.
Yeah.
I literally didn't even know anything about the show. I just knew they don't have American Idol anymore, so it was like the only thing I could do.
American Idol's back now, though,
I think so.
Yeah,
I don't know. But when I was doing it last year, there wasn't... When I was trying out, like, the year before last year to get on this, it was like there was no American Idol, so it was the only option. So, like, I don't know. I'll go do it. Whatever. I practiced a little, probably like 3 or 4 days. I tried to pick a song. I don't know.
What song did you sing?
I picked this country song by Darius Rucker, who's a male singer. So I sang one of his songs, but I thought it was pretty good. And, like, after I sang it, I was like, maybe they'll pick me. Who knows? You know, like, sitting there, and I'm like, maybe. And then they were like, no, nobody. And I was like, oh, all right, whatever.
Yeah,
but this one guy traveled to every single city trying to do it, and he was like, this is my last city, like, this is the last hope. And I was like, oh my gosh.
And you didn't get it?
And this one girl was in line behind me, and she had actually made it through American Idol like 3 rounds, like almost to the finals for being a country singer. And she was just so nervous, but it was crazy. It was so fun just spending the day in line. It was literally like 7 hours in line, and 20 seconds of your life goes by, and then it's over. I don't know.
Those shows are so crazy to me because people just it's a dream of theirs, obviously, and when they don't make it, it's almost like they don't go into it with the same, I guess, mindset you had.
I mean, I had backup plans. Some of these people, they don't have a backup plan.
This is it, and then when they get told like they are terrible or they're the absolute worst, people are they're like, excuse me, what the fuck do you mean I'm the worst? This was not
my plan.
Yeah, and then they cry, and then they're like, what do I do now? But so my favorite ones are the ones that the people get rejected, and then they come back and they're even better, and it's like, oh my god, I remember you, yada yada yada.
Yeah, that's true.
Stuff like that's interesting to me, though.
Yeah, I love watching it. It's so fun.
Are you in any other reality TV shows or anything like that?
No.
So what do you do for fun?
Well, I spend a lot of time at home with my son, or just going out, like exploring San Diego. And,
are you doing this full time?
Well, the media business. So I basically tell people that the media business is what kind of fuels the blog. So I don't really want the blog to be like helping people with marketing. You know, it's kind of awkward to word it like that. So I'm just like, okay, I'll make my own media company that helps set up social media, that helps do high quality video, that helps people just like get started online. Like you don't need this $10,000 video equipment set up to get your message out in the world. You really just exactly, like in 2 seconds. So I just there's so many good businesses and so many good people with so many good things to say, and they say it to other people all the time, and it's like going from coffee to coffee to coffee when you could do 1 or 2 videos and have it go out to hundreds of people. It just seems like I don't know, I just want everyone to be on and be like doing it. So I just get people all fired up.
Do you think though, like if everybody's doing it, it'll get oversaturated?
No, because people will only watch the best stuff. So you should do it versus just sitting around and not doing it. But over time, if you're gonna do it, you should be the best. You should be the most creative. You should find something that everyone is like, oh, you got to go watch this guy because he does this. You got to go watch JP Sears because he does these crazy yoga hilarious videos. You got to go watch Gary Vee because he swears and he's motivational, you know? Like, there's always this, like, thing that people do, and you have to find that thing for you, and that's really hard, and it takes a lot of time, and it takes a lot of practice and kind of, like, figuring out what you actually like and what other people like, because maybe they like a serious side of you, or maybe they like something that's just joking around or whatever. I think people like when I go out and, like, explore San Diego and I don't know everything I'm talking about. I'm just like, look at how cool this is. Look where I am. Like, how amazing is this? I don't know. So I like to do more of that because that's what people like to see me doing.
Yeah, of course. So you said Gary Vee. Are you a fan?
I like Gary Vee. I think every kind of influencer, if your strategy is to be an influencer, you're basically just like committing social suicide over time, because
what do you mean by that?
it's like the more you basically sell out and the more products you sell for other people and the more you get discount codes for websites, like the less credible you are to your audience, because there's big time San Diego bloggers now that basically all they promote is products all day long. And it's like, if I was going to look for some skincare product, I wouldn't even know what to even use, because this person just posts everything and anything now because that's their business and that's what they've made their business out of. And maybe they have 1 million followers, but I'm one of them and I'm very confused, you know? It's like there's no message, and I don't even know who that person is anymore because they're just selling random whoever's whatever. And I feel like Gary Vee he definitely doesn't sell anybody's whatever, but he's finding ways to collaborate with like every different brand and person. And
you think that's hurting him by doing that?
I mean, I just think that there's no like main point. Like, yeah, there's VaynerMedia, and yeah, like you can go to him if you want good marketing or cool Instagram, but that's not what he's really like good at. He's just like so energetic and passionate that he's more of like just like a motivational speaker. He's not like, this is how you grow your Instagram. I don't know. Maybe his team can do it, but what does he do? Like, what does he actually do? I mean, he has
you're 100% right.
He's got 1 billion businesses and he's like, makes enough where it doesn't even matter. But over time, I feel like if he doesn't have that thing where people are like, I gotta go watch this every week for this reason, this person has a story, they have heart, they have soul, I want to tell people about this. I don't know.
Yeah, he's a.
I love him though. I mean,
I'd love
to
do,
meet
but
him.
I don't know how I feel about, like, you hit the nail pretty much on the head with him. Is he blew up on Instagram?
Don't hate me, Gary.
No, not gonna. Don't worry about it.
He won't even watch this. He doesn't even care.
And but I take a lot of things from him because the one thing I like that he always says is he's always like, you just got to keep pushing, and that's like a big thing. And a lot of people give up, and those things. Yes, I live by them, but when he takes all, like you said, all these different things on, then I'm like fall off because I'm like, what do you stand for? Like, you started off selling wine. I know his story. I done research on him because he came out of nowhere. He literally fucking came out of nowhere on Facebook probably 1.5 years ago. And I think he's smart in what he's doing, and he's hitting the ground running with it. And if anybody in their right mind would do the same exact thing. But I think you're right. I think it sends mixed messages when not just him. There's a ton of guys that do it, and they send mixed messages, and they're not to the point and authentic about their thing anymore. And I think it's because they realize they want to keep doing it. It's like you said, you have Triple Peak Media, and that you run that to fulfill the SD lifestyle blog. You know what I'm saying? So maybe
I don't want to be that blogger that's like, that's what I'm getting paid to do is go to this bar and go to this experience and blah blah, and this is $3,000.
You would rather do something else on the side that no one knows about to run your stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Or I'd be like, hire me to do a video of a brand, your branding video, or you're this or you're that, and then I'll promote it on my blog if I like it. But I'm not gonna just be like, I like everything in town and this is amazing. I'm like, I don't know. I just can't be like that. I like what I like and I don't like what I don't like.
But the funny thing is like, is people like that. I'm drinking on my pink cup, but people obviously like that stuff because it's the content that they create, and they keep doing it, or they just keep putting it out.
And maybe I'm wrong about it. Maybe I'm just gonna, like, I'm fine staying a small business forever. Like, I'm not trying to grow into some big huge empire, and if it happens, great. But like, that's not my ultimate goal. So I have 1 billion people working for me in like all these offices in different cities. Like, I'm good if I just have a few clients every month and I'm doing a few thousand for each client, and I'm just like, this is what we're doing. The work's
gonna be more authentic too.
And I believe in it. But I think the perfect example is honestly, like, my favorite person ever on Instagram is Steve Aoki. Do you follow him, or do you know?
I don't. I know who he is.
Yeah, like he's like friends with all the best top DJ people too, and they're all like collaborate all the time. But he finds the most interesting ways to get like fashion brands or any random thing. He's got Pizza Aoki now. Like, every random. He just
likes what he likes, and
but at the end of the day, he's Steve Aoki, and you see him on the stage, and that's like his passion, 110%. And it's like. And he's got his Aoki jump that he does 1,000 times, and he's got his cake in the face that he does at every single show. Like,
he throws into the crowd, right?
Yeah, cake, and he just.
What was the other thing?
And now it's gotten to the point where he's like has like 5 cakes, and he's like does it
What was the other
constantly.
thing you said he did?
An Aoki jump. He has like literally on Instagram you can look up hashtag Aoki jump, and it's like with your feet up, kind of like this, like when you jump and you put your feet up.
Oh, really?
And he's done this literally. I think he's over 890 now, so he's done it almost
know who his dad
900
is, right?
times. No.
You don't know who his dad is?
No.
His dad's the guy who owns Benihana.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, they
That's
don't
so
talk,
interesting. Okay.
There's a
Wow.
documentary about it.
Wow, that's
You
crazy.
didn't know that?
No.
Yeah,
I know. I'm always learning new things.
Yeah, that's his dad.
But yeah,
they
he's got
don't-
that thing he does like every single day, and you know him, and you're like, I have to go see his crazy, and he always puts Aoki jump number 876. Aoki jump
really?
number. Yeah, so you can go on his profile and follow along, and like eventually he's gonna have like a million. Every time he meets a celebrity or does a show
He
with
does a
anyone,
jump with them or
yeah,
what?
he does a jump with them or with the band or whatever, or some random camels in India, or like random, the most crazy cool stuff you could ever see. It's like, and now he's done almost 900 of these jumps, and it's just like everything builds over time, and you leave a legacy, and like that's what I love the most is like, what legacy are you leaving, and like what are you leaving behind for everybody else? And it's just gonna be so cool when he's got 5,000 jumps or whatever. I don't know what he's gonna do with it, but it's cool. Everybody
That's
follows
really cool. I
along
gotta
for that
follow him.
thing.
I'm surprised I
Yeah,
don't
he is
follow
like
him.
my number one like person that I tell people like don't be Gary Vee and just swear because it's cool and people will click on it and retweet it. Like be Steve Aoki and find that thing where every
That you
night,
love.
like you can't go to sleep without thinking of this, and that's just what you do, and you do it every week, and like record like go all in on that, go live when you're doing that, because that's what people are going to be drawn to over time.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
And then talk to everybody else and do whatever else and do fashion and
That's
do
my
pizza
favorite
and
thing
do
is-
whatever. But
Talk to everybody because you never know who you're going to fucking meet.
yeah, so many brands are so scared to do that. They don't want to collaborate. They're so scared to promote any other brand because they don't know if it'll align with their brand, and they don't
Yeah.
know if especially on social media, it's basically just like a networking. Like everybody gets together and they're like, hey, what's your name? Blah, blah. You don't have to like the person and do everything with them just because you repost their photo. Like, I don't know.
I know what you mean.
It drives me crazy.
But people think that's what needs to be done.
I
And
know,
that might
but-
be what it is that needs to be done. But I
I want to break that cycle, the mindset. It drives me crazy because the people that do collaborate and the people that, if you're like, I tell my massage therapist, he just started his own website and his own Instagram. I told him, repost like acupuncturists or physical therapists or like all these people around you that have your clients, like whoever already has your clients and whoever already has your following, like promote them like crazy, because they're going to promote you and they're going to just give you clients left and right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where everybody is. If you're at your acupuncturist, you're like, when can I get a massage, or what hair salon should I go to, or what, like whatever else. And you expect those people to give you good recommendations for people. So
Yeah. That's true. You're 110% right. I would
your
completely
competition
agree.
is like the best place to grow your following.
I'm like
I love
watching
it.
because my mic's like gonna fall off.
Oh,
I don't know why. But figure it out. But yeah.
Yeah, I always try to be best friends with my competition, because at the end of the day, when you go to these seminars or panels are my favorite thing ever at conferences or anything, because you see these people and they're direct competitors, and they're up there and they're shaking hands and they can have conversations with each other, and they're like, yeah, you do this on your website, but this is what I do on my website,
you're
and this is
100%.
why I'm better. And like I love it when it gets like intense and people are like, this is why it's this, and blah blah blah, and
That's
you're
why you
blah
love
blah.
doing
Like,
what you do,
yeah, I
though.
love it. Yeah, and so people, if you can't be like anti-competition, because eventually you're going to be on that stage with a panel with your competition right there, and you're going to have to be like, they're good friends. Everybody knows everybody. It's a very small world. So if you're doing what you love and you like have a mission and a passion, that's all that matters, and just go for it,
Give me 1 second. I'm going to pause it real quick, so I'm going to fix my mic thing. Sorry, we had a little hiccup with the audio, but we are back. So, Amanda, what I like to do, I got these things a couple weeks ago.
All right.
It's the chat pack. I don't know what any of these questions are. This is a funny thing. The first person I did this with, I read the first question before I put it out here, like the day I bought them, and I put it behind there. Or I just put it randomly in the package. I'm like, I don't like that fucking question. And the girl that came on, Tanya Gonzalez, that was the first question she picked. I was like, how did you do it? So we go back. Well, I asked like 2 questions each. So I asked you, and I like to end it like this. Good notes and stuff. So I'll ask you one question. You ask me. We'll go back and forth.
Okay.
So are you ready?
I am.
See, some of these questions I don't like. I just throw them out. All right.
That's good.
Oh, this is a really good one. If you can go back in time and ask any famous person in history one question, whom would you question and what would you ask?
Oh man, I am really a history junkie. My husband and I watch the History Channel all the time. So this is actually really hard because there's so many good historical people and places and things. Oh man. I guess if I had to pick one, it would be probably like an ancient, like King Tut. And
Really?
yeah, I want to know like how the tombs were made, or
the pyramids were built?
how the pyramids were made, and how like that whole lifestyle was, because it seemed so impossible. And you watch all these documentaries, and it's just like, I don't know, I don't understand. It just blows my mind, and I would love to like, I don't know, I would love to see the pyramids someday. That's definitely on my bucket list.
All right.
So I guess that's what I'd have to say.
Yeah, you're up, girl.
All right. All right, if you won $2 million tomorrow, what are the first 3 things you think you would do or buy as soon as you had the check in your hand?
Quit my job.
What's this job?
No.
Oh, okay.
I
was like, geez.
Yeah, come on.
Like, don't quit this.
No, I'd quit my job.
All right.
I'd buy a house.
All right.
And I would invest the rest, I think.
Really? Wow. All right.
$2 million's not that much money.
I know, really especially here. You can just buy a house and that's pretty much it.
Exactly.
You wouldn't have any money if it was a nice house.
But yeah, I think I'd quit my job. I'd buy a house, and I would do something nice, but I'd invest the rest of it.
All right. I like it.
Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good question.
Yeah, I like this one. Keep this one in like a special pile where you can pick it again.
That's a good question. All right, here we go. Aside from any family occurrence, marriage, special anniversary, birth of a child, etc., what event or accomplishment would you consider to be the highlight of your life thus far?
Oh, man. These are like really deep questions. Like you could think about this for a long time. Man. Probably there's so many things that I've done. I don't know if I can narrow it down to like one thing, but I guess it would be launching that very first website back in the day, because that was the start of completely realizing that I had the power to put out whatever I wanted online.
Yeah.
And especially when it changed people's minds, and especially when they would click something and purchase something and I could have money in my bank from that. Like, to me, being in Michigan, I was just dying to find a way out and to get, I mean, California was like the ultimate dream. We call it Cali in Michigan. So it's like getting out to Cali, or
A lot of people want to move out here from California.
Oh my gosh, that's like the ultimate dream. Everybody goes to Florida because it's like as far as we can get or something. I don't know. No one ever gets out here, but yeah, for sure. Like, that's like the ultimate. So I guess building that first website and like clicking, launch, and going through all the random stuff behind the scenes. And back in 2011, it was a lot harder, especially putting together like a purchase page from one of my first clients. And I built up their Twitter from 0 to 30,000 followers in like 2 or 3 years. And that was like huge back in 2013 when Twitter was so new, and 30,000 followers was like, oh my gosh, you're like almost celebrity status.
Now it's like
now it's like you have to have like 500,000 to be anyone important, I don't know. But yeah, like just clicking that and watching it go live and being like, ooh, this can really like change my life.
Yeah.
And then getting to the point where I was doing enough clients and making enough money by direct internet sales and helping people online and like sending emails and working with a company. I did like a shirt order one time for this company completely online, found the people to design it, did everything back and forth, like didn't even call anyone, and the shirts showed up and they were so happy, and it was like, this is amazing. Why would I ever call anybody ever again? Like, the internet's where it's at, and that's like grown my entire life, and that's like, I don't know, that's why I have such a passion for it.
I know, you are passionate about it. You're very passionate about it.
I love it.
It's good, though. It's good.
All right. Your question. This is the last question.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a close one to mine. When you look back on the life you have lived to this point, what in particular amazes you the most? These questions are so hard because they're like, oh my gosh, now I have to think of my entire life. And like, the most amazing
What was it? What event?
What in particular amazes you the most when you look back on the life you've lived to this point?
I would say the amount of people that I've met. I would say that's what it has to do. Because I've met, I mean, you have to think, I grew up on the East Coast, joined the Navy, saw the world, went to war, came to California, and just all the people I've met here, all the people I met doing this, all the jobs I've had and everything like that. I would say all the people that I've met.
And how important is it to like continue to keep up? Like, how do you keep up with these people? How do you? I mean, are some people?
Facebook and Insta. Some people. You know what's funny is like there's so many people that I have connected with in some way, right? And I've met, or I've just talked to you, or I've liked you, and I've had just some experience with you that either rubs me the right way or rubs me the wrong way, or gives me a certain feeling, you know?
Sure.
But I still somehow, there's always a little piece of them in all of my stuff. Like, it doesn't matter if it's on Facebook or anything like that. Like, to be honest with you, I started doing something that I haven't done. Is every single day, there's like 5 people's birthdays on Facebook.
Yes. Oh my
So
gosh,
I started
do
looking
that.
at like one person. I was like, you know, I'm just gonna write happy birthday.
Yes.
I'm just gonna be a nice fucking guy. I'm just gonna write happy birthday.
Even though
if I
the
haven't
random person you
even
don't
if I
even
haven't
know.
talked to you in like fucking 10 years,
Yes.
I'm still gonna wish you a happy birthday. And you know what it is? It's a high five to that. It's you obviously you're friends with that person for a reason. If it's people like I have friends with through friends that I don't know, I won't do it. But if it's
you
somebody
don't.
that I
I
know,
still do because I don't. I'm like I don't know how I know this person, but I might as well say happy birthday. And then if it starts a conversation, because I've added so many people at parties or whatever, and like I don't ever know you.
And I'm
like,
just like
but I still say happy.
I say happy birthday to everybody.
Yes.
I do. I really do. It's one
And
of my.
so many people like it, right? And
Yeah.
they comment back and they're like, "Thanks."
They're like,
And
holy
I'm
shit! I haven't talked to you forever. How are you?
yeah.
It's just shit like that. It's the human connection. I think also, I would just say, yeah, all the people that I've met throughout my life so far. I'm about to be 30 this year, and it's been
Wow.
a wild ride so far. So I'm pretty stoked. But yeah, I would say all the people that I've met.
What's your goal with this podcast?
I don't know.
You don't know? You're just like talking to cool people?
Yeah, to be honest with you. That's my thing.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I do. I use it. I think as a little bit of therapy, maybe.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
talk to 1 to 2 people a week, and everybody has a story. You know, everybody has a passion for something. They love something, and I like to do this, and I just like to talk to people and hear about theirs, and I just think humans are interesting, and
Yeah.
I think they're like snowflakes. I don't think any 2 people are alike, no matter what they do. But yeah, I love doing this. It's just, to be honest, it's fun. I've learned how to edit. I learned how to do all this stuff. It's just been fun for me.
What do you edit on?
GarageBand and fucking iMovie and all that stuff.
Nice,
It's super
alright.
easy. It's all self-taught, like all the stuff we talked about before. It's to be honest with you, the best part of it is it's fun.
Yeah.
I just get to talk to so many people and I've met so many people and gone out. I've met them out in town or stuff like that, and it's just picked up momentum, and I just got to keep moving forward with it. But yeah, I don't know what the end goal is. I mean, ideally, I would like to maybe one day quit my job and do this full time. But
Sure.
yeah, we'll see what happens.
It's so interesting how when you have a passion for something, you don't even know really like what the goal is. You're just like, I know I'm supposed to do this and I want to do it and I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I tried so many times to have a random like real job, and I don't know, I have a problem. I end up quitting like every job and freaking out on the boss and walking out or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah,
There's just something inside me that like I just can't work for other people, but every job has taught me that, like, you know, that's something that I didn't want to do and I didn't have the full passion for it. And even if I was really good at it and even if I knew what I was doing, and it's like, I don't want to do this forever. I really don't. I don't know. So it's good. You're just finding your passion.
Thank you for coming on tonight, coming down here.
For sure. It was really fun.
So if people want to find you or anything like that, how do they go about doing so?
Yeah, my website is triplepeakmedia.com. The blog on the top links right to the San Diego Lifestyle blog, but the blog is the sdlifestyle.com.
Mm-hmm.
And all the social media, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, on all of them under the SD Lifestyle or Triple Peak Media. I'm on both. I try to kind of like... I'm trying to do more online classes when it comes to the media stuff and empower business owners to really be able to do it themselves, because I feel like that's where the power comes in. You don't need this $2,000 budget. You need like $200 and you can set up a website and you can set up the basic social media where now you can just take a picture, write a cool thing, and it's on your website. It's all over.
You can show them how to do that too on your site.
Yeah, so that's what I do, like a lot of free webinars or online classes in person even, or I have like really easy quick guides and things, and I'm always available to answer questions. People message me random stuff about whatever, SSL certificates or email marketing, or can you connect this to lead pages? And because I've just taken the time to like go and push all the random buttons, so that's what people are drawn to, and that's what I want to like help people do. Push all the random buttons and get something working and get your message out.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you coming on.
It's fun.
Yeah, guys, thanks for listening. Subscribe at the bottom if you listen this far. Subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, all the other stuff. But Amanda, again, thank you so much for coming over and hanging out with us tonight. It's been a pleasure. Guys, till next time, adios.
Yeah.